Something. Reading was a habit I enjoyed doing. Until things went bad. When I wanted to read, I was often told to go outside, to places like school, or doing things later that became a dead end. I was not only surrounded by those interested in trending books, but those who wanted to read for an external reward. Sounds gross to me right now. Books were lost, and I was told to sit in the local library to read as a way of paying them off. Although, I most likely wasn't the one who lost them. I'd be in the school's auditorium reading. It was intended to be a punishment, but was seen as a treat on both occasions. Sure, there were book clubs, and I'll attend them. But it felt like as if it was a second English class. No, thanks. It wasn't so enjoyable when assigned books, as compared to reading them solely because I wanted to. Was reading only to be done in school? Could I not read books I wanted to? Not for assignments, let alone a grade I didn't care for. It was odd. This relationship felt as if I was secretly dating. Seeing books in the library I initially wanted to read. Messaging books I was reading in the library of seeing them soon, but never did. I continued reading on my phone via the non-sponsored app, making a list of books as reading goals, and tracking them to how enjoyable they were. Few books I like to mention are The One Thing by Gary Keller and J. Papason. I recommend this book for someone who has trouble finishing what they started, to have actionable tasks towards their someday or within the next few years goal, allowing time blocking for single tasks. Relentless by Tim Grover. When opening this book, the first sentence I read was, trust yourself, decide, every minute, every hour, every day. As you're sitting around trying to figure out what to do, someone else is already doing it. A book with 13 chapter ones, because every chapter is just as important as the other. Stories in relation to basketball, and the differences between a cooler, closer, and a cleaner. One example is, a cooler is liked, a closer is respected, and a cleaner is feared and then respected for doing exactly what everyone feared he'll do. I may or may not have freaked out some people while reading this book. Although this is focused more on athletes, the book also mentions anyone can be one of these in different areas of their lives. I later decided to cancel my subscription for physical copies. For the first time in what felt like ages, I read a book outside of home. This book took me as a reader on a mental journey. Some parts of this book were reassuring. There were crazy moments where I felt grateful to have read it in the comfort of my home. And also times when I felt heartfelt. I'm good to have read The Midnight Library. Having the freedom to explore, I later decided to read A Lesson in Chemistry. Though I often found myself Googling a bunch of words to remembering why a friend told me not to take chemistry class if I ever were nerdy enough to give it the chance to. I probably would, but I'm glad I didn't. Maybe I'll go back to finishing it. What I thought to be the next book I'd explore turned out to be a book within a series, starting with book 1. It's a book of 10. I was looking through this book and it said book 7. So this is quite interesting. There's 10 books of a series. And there's 7 books within each book. That's considered as reading 70 books. Am I ready for a committed relationship? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Guardians of the Moon by Erikson. Feel free to guess which of the 10 books I was going to read. And I've decided to use it as a milestone if I want to continue reading books throughout the series. Maybe I'll reveal it in the future whenever I get to it. No promises. Although my relationship with reading had a rough start, but with the intentional choices I've been able to pick up a book without feeling as if I'm reading for external reward, nor a punishment, but rather reading it because it is a reward of itself, a habit I do because I want to. Don't regret not reading a good book. It just might change your life. Maybe I should have hidden books just so I can read in the library daily after school. Oh, dang it. Then, of course, return it. Bye-bye. Done. Next.